The 40-Day Mirror, a journey through Jewish character. I'm Rabbi David Kadosh. Welcome to day 13. Yesterday we spoke about azut panim, the brazen face that has sealed itself against correction, against feedback, against anything that might puncture its armor. Today we talk about something that can look similar from the outside, confidence, self-assurance, belief in oneself, but it's something completely different in its essence and in its source. Today we talk about Emunat, atzmo, self-belief, inner confidence, the quiet, unshakable sense of one's own worth and capacity. And I want to begin by saying something that might feel counterintuitive given everything we've discussed over the past few days. Judaism does not want you to think poorly of yourself. It never did. We have spent time this week on anava and busha, humility and healthy shame. And if you've been listening carefully, you might have begun to wonder, is the Jewish ideal that just a person who is perpetually self-critical, who minimizes himself, defers to everyone, and never quite believes in his own abilities? The answer is no. And the sources are unambiguous about this. The Sifat Emet, the Ger Rebbe, writes that every single human being arrives in this world carrying a chelek eloka mima'al, a piece of the divine from above. Not a poetic flourish, not a metaphor, a literal spark of godliness embedded in the soul of every person. If that's true, and the Torah tells us it is, then to genuinely believe you are worthless is not humility. It's a mistake. It's a denial of what Hashem placed inside of you. The Gemara in Sanhedrin teaches one of the most radical statements about human worth in any literature, ancient or modern. It says, Kol echad ve'echad chayav lomar bishvili nivra ha'olam. Every single person is obligated to say, the world was created for my sake. Not, I am one of many. Not, I matter sort of, along with everyone else. The world was created for my sake. Now, the same Talmud also tells us that every person must say, I am but dust and ashes. These two statements might seem like contradictions, but they're not. They are a portrait of what a fully realized Jewish self looks like. Enormous in dignity, humble in pretension, confident in one's divine worth, modest about one's achievement. The world was created for me, and I am dust and ashes, both at the same time. Emunat atzmo lives in that paradox. It's not the confidence that says, I'm better than you. It is a confidence that says, I was placed here for a reason, and I have something real to contribute. Rav Kalman Shapira, who wrote and taught in the Warsaw Ghetto under conditions of unimaginable horror, devoted much of his life's work to the cultivation of what he called da'at atzmo, deep self-knowledge, as the foundation of all spiritual growth. He wrote that one of the Yetzer Hara's most effective strategies is not to make a person sin dramatically, but to make him feel small, ordinary, unremarkable. Because a person who believes he has nothing of value to contribute stops contributing. A person who believes he is incapable of real change stops trying to change. A person who believes his prayers don't really matter stops praying with his whole heart. And therefore the Rebbe called this killing the soul slowly. And he said the antidote was radical. You must learn to see yourself the way Hashem sees you, not the way your worst moments see you, not the way your harshest critic sees you, the way the one who created you, specifically, intentionally, with a particular soul and a particular mission, sees you. There's a famous story told of Rav Zusha of Anipoli, whom we met earlier this series, who was known for his extraordinary warmth and his simple childlike faith. Toward the end of his life, he was found to be crying, and his students asked him, why? He said, I'm afraid. When I arrive in front of Bet Din Shalom Allah, the heavenly court, they will not ask me, Zusha, why were you not Moshe Rabbeinu? They will not ask me, Zusha, why were you not the Vilna Gaon? They will ask me, Zusha, why were you not Zusha? Why did you not become everything that Zusha was capable of becoming? Why were you not Zusha? That is the question Emunat atzmo prepares us to answer. Not by becoming someone else, not by measuring ourselves against anyone else's gifts or accomplishments, but by fully inhabiting the particular, unrepeatable person that we were created to be. Because here's the truth that the Torah is telling us from beginning to end. There has never been another you, not in all of human history. The specific combination of your soul, your experiences, your relationships, your struggles, your gifts has never existed before and never will exist again. The Mishnah tells us that when a person mints coin from the same stamp, they all come out identical. But Hashem mints every human being from the same stamp, B'Tselem Elokim, and every single one comes out different. And that's not an accident, that's a design. And Emunat atzmo is the courage to trust that design, to believe that the specific person you are, not some idealized version of yourself, but you with your particular strengths and limitations, has a role to play that no one else can fill. And here is today's question for the mirror. In what area of my life have I been holding back? Not out of genuine humility, but out of a quiet belief that I'm simply not enough. Not arrogance, not azut panim, just a soft, persistent whisper that says, who am I to try? Who am I to speak? Who am I to lead, to create, to reach, to become? The answer, the Torah's answer is, you are the one that Hashem had in mind when He made you. That's enough. That has always been enough. So go be Zusha. This has been day 13 of the 40-day mirror, a journey through Jewish character. Until tomorrow.